All right, good morning, Shadows. We are on our way to the bus station. Hold on. Let this bus pass. Where we are getting a bus to Dublin and then getting our connecting bus to Galway. We'll be there for 5 days, so it's a beautiful Irish morning, as you can see. So let's get this day started, shall we? Good morning, Shadows. So we are up and about. We're in Galway. This is the first full day. Today we're just going to do a free walking tour with I think it's called Tribes Walking Tour. Always a good start to any visit. I know I've talked about those before, but it really is, especially if you know little to nothing about the city you're going to. And also it's always good because even if you do know some stuff, chances are they probably know more than you, and so you get a little breadth of history. You learn a lot. So I'm gonna walk over that way, try not to be blinded by the sun, and we'll get this day started. All right. All right, good. Woo. Good morning, Shadows, from a beautiful Irish winter day. All right, good morning, Shadows. We are out and about in Galway. We're going to re-walk our path that we did on the free walking tour and see one extra site. And it is a beautiful Irish winter, fall, I'm not even sure what time of season it is anymore. So let's go check out this. Alright guys, so that was Galway Cathedral. Very beautiful. One of the prettiest churches I've ever seen, and probably the biggest tourist attraction here in Galway. Now we're gonna head back into the city center. We're gonna walk the path that we did for the free walking tour, so I can give you some of the information I learned. And then that is it for today, guys. Still contemplating on whether I'm gonna do the day trip tomorrow. We'll see what the weather brings. Honestly, Ireland is being a little more expensive than I thought it was gonna be. So far, even more expensive than England. So, yeah, we gotta be careful on the budget, you know? We're getting towards the end and the dollars are draining. But yeah, so let's go check out, among things like Irish Square, Spanish Arch, and a couple other things. Alright guys, so that beautiful river you just saw is the Carib River. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it is reportedly, according to my tour guide, the shortest and fastest river in Europe. I'm not sure if it was in Europe or just in Ireland, but it's only, I think he said 7 kilometers long, and check out the speed. I would not want to fall in that thing. All right guys, back to the walk. right behind me is St. Nicholas of Collegiate. We're not going to go in because right now Holy Communion is being said, and I don't think it's fair to this church. We were just at Galway Cathedral, which is absolutely stunning. So yeah, it is actually in use, so no going in, but check a look at it. It's pretty. All right, guys, let's move on. Alright guys, so those last two things you just saw, the first one was Blake's castle. It doesn't really look like a castle, but of the tribes, the 14 tribes that were in this area, Blake was one of the big guys. And of course, the most important thing to do when you are a big guy is to have your house in a very important place. It's right next to the river, right next to the bridge. So Blake built his castle there. Now it's a Costa, you know, so there's that. The second thing you saw was the Spanish arch, and it was actually just part of the wall with arches. You couldn't even walk through it until, I think my tour guide said, the 1800s. So those are two more of the big must-sees in Galway. Now we're gonna head to another one, kind of keep going, yeah? It's a beautiful little town. It's a little brisk this morning, a little misty, but not too bad. Let's keep going. Alright guys, so last couple of things. We saw the Hall of the Red Earl, which is an archaeological excavation, which is take two. So yeah, so the last two things we saw were the Hall of the Red Earl, which is an archaeological excavation of a hall they found, like always, as they were starting to rebuild and remodel things. It belonged to the de Burgo family, which is kind of a big family here. They actually became called the Blakes, so Blake Castle was theirs. And then the second thing, we have to chalk up to the strangest place to see an archaeological site, and that was in the shopping center. That was actually some of the original foundation of the wall that surrounded, the Norman wall that surrounded the town. And they found it, of course, when they were starting to build a mall and decided, hey, let's just build them all around it. Now we're in Irish Square, and we'll be back here later for the Christmas market. It is like the center of Galway, kind of like the gathering spot for all the public, where they hold a lot of the festivals, and it has always been. So we're gonna take a look through here. We have one more thing to see, and then that'll be it until tonight when we come back for the Christmas market. All right guys, let's finish this out. Alright, Shadows, so I escaped the cave. As you can tell, I opted not to do the day tour because I had work I had to get done. Unfortunately, when you're working on the road, sometimes that happens. So I escaped for lunch and thought I'd wrap everything up in Eyre Square. So Galway was amazing. It's a very quaint little town. I definitely suggest a couple of days for the town itself, and at least one day to do day trips. There's some amazing day trips. I'll leave some links in the description below to some of the ones I was looking at. But yeah, it was amazing. Great little town, very quaint. Not a lot of big sights to see, but enough to see to keep you busy. And it's also just a really great place to come and kind of relax and chill. I can imagine during the spring and summer when all the festivals are here, it's even more packed and even more amazing. So yeah, that's it for Galway. Make sure to check all the description in the description box below for all the links to my blog and my social media. And that's where I'm going to leave this. That's where I'm leaving Galway. Tomorrow we're heading for Dublin. We're there for a week and a half, and then we head back to London. So yeah, until next video, guys, safe journeys.